Hello, welcome back. Thank you for joining me today. Today's topic of conversation, other than A Course in Miracles and its utter simplicity, you heard that right, is where we really find peace. Where do we really find peace? Where do we really find satisfaction? And we need to have conversations such as these so that we really hone in on where to direct our mind. Pretty simply, we're looking for peace. We're looking for happiness and satisfaction in the wrong place. That's all. So here's what we mean by this. We've spent lots and lots of time, this entire lifetime for sure, because we're still apparently here having this conversation in the first place. The very fact that this conversation appears to be necessary is testament to the fact that we've all been looking for happiness in the world that appears to us to be out there. It appears to be outside us, yet we appear in it and think that we're this, which we're not. And as we think we're individual human beings running around, we place our trust, our confidence, all of our hopes and beliefs and energies in this world, which is an illusion. If you're wondering why more people aren't doing A Course in Miracles, let's just put it rather honestly. Who's ready to accept that there is no world? Who's ready to accept that everything that he or she has been attempting and trying like mad to orchestrate and control and order, all of those efforts are completely in vain? All of them. Who's ready to really go there in their own mind? That's why you don't appear to see billions of people doing the course. And that's okay. You're here. That's what matters. There's a reason for that, as you well know. So this course just doesn't mess around. It gets right to the point. Let me tell you something. You deserve nothing less. Haven't you messed around enough? And perhaps you're thinking, yeah, I don't know if I'm ready for this. And that's perfectly okay. Now, there's no one stopping you from turning this video off. I mean, it's YouTube. People take a look at something, check it out, navigate away. Fly far, far away. Yet you're still watching, which tells me everything I need to know. It should tell you everything you need to know too. Welcome. You deserve nothing less than what this course says and what this course means, because as with anything else that appears to exist in the world, there's a lot of misinformation out there. A lot. That's an understatement, isn't it? There are many of those on the spiritual path, as you well know, from whatever your background is. And incidentally, it doesn't matter what that is. The course is a universally themed, universally applicable self-study curriculum. Not a religion, thank God. Not a cult, again, thank God. The world does not need another one of those. There are many, too many, aren't there? The deal is we've been looking for happiness in the world. We've been looking for peace, lasting, eternal peace and happiness in stuff, in the things of the world, in our career, in our relationships, in our social status, in our economic status, in what we call the game of life, doing whatever we do for work or did for work if you're retired, and all of that stuff. We think that all of that, all of these orchestrations and manipulations, we'll say more about that in a minute. Yes, manipulations, that word is deliberately chosen. We think that these are going to bring us lasting peace and happiness. Yet, even if you succeed in getting a job, for example, even if you succeed in finding a loving romantic partner, again, for example, what we find when we're really, really honest with ourselves, which I invite you to be, is that no matter what we get, no matter what kind of worldly success we may garner, we may get, it's not enough. We're not satisfied. Are you wealthy? Satisfied with that? I mean, you may think, yeah, but people are always thinking of ways to get more of anything. In a relationship, we're always thinking of ways to get more. In our work lives, we're always looking around at another opportunity, even if we say we're perfectly content where we are not. Why? Because it hasn't given us what we're really looking for. When I say peace, eternal peace, I mean the peace of God. That, the peace of God. This is what we're all looking for. And thinking that we're individuals, we look for it in our individual accolades and accomplishments, our careers, our relationship status, the car we drive, the size of the house, the size of our bank account, the fine threads that we drape over this thing that we call ourselves. You will find, if you're newer to this, and if you're a seasoned veteran, so to speak, there are so many references in each and every video designed to get you to disidentify with the ego. The physical body is the ego's adopted home. Disidentify. So, in case you ever wonder why I refer to this image as nothing more than a pixelated image on your screen, understand the meaning of that. Who's speaking to you right now? It's not this. Kind of looks like it on this thing that we call a computer screen. It's the Holy Spirit. Always, no matter what the outward form may take, no matter what the form, the appearance of the message or the messenger. In this case, this thing. It's nothing. The Holy Spirit is communicating with you. Always, always. It's part of our mind. We're invited to listen to it. We're seeking happiness in stuff, in the next shiny object, and we're never satisfied. Why? None of these objects can bring us what we really seek. Quite simply, the peace of God. It's what we all want. Deep down, it's why we're all on the spiritual path. I mean, it's why you're interested in this video. For sure, it's why you're interested in this course, whether you're aware of that at the moment or not, or whether you go on to study this course, or whether this is the end in this lifetime of A Course in Miracles for you, because, well, it just is. And if that's the case, not a problem. There are many doors. So my point here is all roads lead to the same place. All spiritual traditions, all of them All doors open unto the same place, God. Whether you call it that or not, that's where they open to, and it is where they all lead because God is the only reality. Most traditions in this world won't come out and tell you that. This does not mean that A Course in Miracles is superior to those. It is simply one of many doors. If you wish for a direct approach, welcome, here you are. If you don't, not a problem. Yet you're still here. Hmm. Again, tells me everything I need to know, should tell you everything you need to know, too. So, where do we find this happiness if we can't find it in the world outside? Well, it's within, not out there. The lesson for all of us here is to give up our attachment to finding the peace of God in the world out there. There is no world. How can you find happiness in a complete illusion? How do you find truth in a complete illusion? It's not there. This entire world, planet spinning ball of rock that we appear to see here, is in our mind. It's a projection of our own mind. This may blow your mind. Let it. That's fine. No problem. It's a projection of our mind. It is an externally appearing picture of what's inside. It is showing us our wish to be separate from God, which we are not. You could choose to see this differently. We have a choice as to which teacher we listen to. Not this. This is a pixelated image on your screen. I'm referring to the Holy Spirit or the ego. That's our choice. There are two possibilities. One choice, exactly two possibilities. One leads to peace, points to truth. The other keeps us stuck in despair and frustration. Nothing but despair has resulted from our attempt to control and orchestrate our own happiness through the world, which does not exist after all. Appears to, for sure. I'm not saying don't go to your job tomorrow. Go to your job tomorrow. Eat, sleep, drink. People need you. Your brother needs you. More about that in a minute. But none of this is, in fact, true. It's not the way we're raised to see it. We're raised to see this wobbling, spinning ball of rock as home sweet home, and this as us, which we know it's not. There's more to it than that. Of course there is. If you've ever known that, yeah, exactly. You know that's true. So, I mean, you're welcome to deny it. That's nobody's going to stop you from that, in all honesty. So, frustration and despair always results from attempting to find happiness in the world and attempting to control it. So, what do? Give up our need to control. Forgive, forgive, forgive. Under the guidance of our inner teacher, and give our inner teacher, the Holy Spirit or Jesus or whatever you want to call the Holy Spirit, control. Give control over. Your attempts to control have not led to the peace of God. They may have gotten you rich or in good shape or happy in your relationship life, but they have not led to the peace of God, which is eternal and beyond all of our concepts, including space and time. Nothing but despair has resulted from our attempts to run the show ourselves. So we're invited to, as the Course puts it, resign as our own teacher, ego. Resign as your own teacher and give all of the control of your experience over to the Holy Spirit, this part of our mind who knows who and what you are, who will point you and lead you to truth, including instructing you as to what to do, where to go, if anywhere, what to say, and to whom, all of that, if only we're willing to relax and trust its guidance. That's the constant invitation to do just that. So we appear to find ourselves in a very precarious place. It's very precarious indeed, because we appear to be in conflict with ourselves. We appear to be torn between two worlds, in a manner of speaking, because we have recognized, and you have recognized, that there is a hope, there is a peace, even if you've only recognized it for a fraction of a second, however dim, however distant, however faint this may appear, you've recognized that there is a hope and a peace and a real solution that comes from outside this world. It's not of this world. Hope and peace is not of this world. You recognize that there is no world, remember? How can it be of this world? It's not. It's not from this world. It's not of this world. We need this repeated because while a part of us would love to believe it and go forth and forgive, 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 and awaken, which could happen really quickly, we don't know. A part of us still wants to find hope and peace in the world, so we appear to be torn. It's almost as though we're flying a jet and we're approaching the speed of sound, whereupon the plane is starting to shake and quiver and shake stronger and harder and quiver, and it may appear as though it's going to break apart. What do we then do as the pilot, the decision maker? Put the throttle down and go through to the other side. It's a choice that we get to make. That's the choice we're invited to make. That is simply an analogy. Just an analogy. We're invited to give up our attempts to find peace and happiness in the world. If you're desperately looking for something, give up the desperation and the attachment to the outcome. Give the entire experience over to the Holy Spirit. You will be told what to do. You will be instructed what to do, where to go, if anywhere. And as you do this, you will notice that things begin to arrange themselves. Will that mean you're getting a job, for example, if that's the one you're really looking for? But maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe not. But your needs will be met. Give your entire experience over to the purposes of the Holy Spirit, to the purposes of healing the mind. and you'll get what you're supposed to get. To continue to look for peace in the world is a hopeless errand that we can very easily give up. Now, it's this choice that we find so hard because we're still torn. What has the ego brought you? I mean, really, the peace of God? Following the ego is a fool's errand because it's attempting to teach us who and what we are without having a clue who and what we are. Put it that way. Would you follow a guide such as this? Off the cliff again. Only you can answer that for yourself. It's pretty clear what the invitation is to follow the loving, the certain, the peaceful guidance of the Holy Spirit. That's what the invitation is for all of us. What has always failed you isn't just going to instantaneously succeed because you've chosen another shiny object. What has always inevitably failed you isn't going to just succeed and give you the peace of God this time, in this relationship, in this career path, in this place, with this set of circumstances. It's time for us to change our mind. Will you do that today? That's the invitation. Now, for those of you who may be new or newer to A Course in Miracles, these videos are intended for everybody. Really, I don't know who may be watching. It's a large, growing international community, and people are literally here from all over the world. This is one of the beauties of our modern technology and the internet is we can reach each other all over. So that's a beautiful thing. Now, you'll notice that this is pretty deep stuff. Maybe it's not like anything you've ever seen before, but because you're still watching, there's something that clearly resonates. Now, listen to that. That's the Holy Spirit speaking to you. In fact, it's entirely possible over the course of these past few minutes that you've received not one, but multiple messages. They can hit you any number of ways. It can hit you almost like you're being punched. It can seem really hard. It can seem really abrupt as you realize, oh, wow, I've been doing this. That's not giving me what I'm looking for. I should switch. I should change my mind. But I'm afraid to do it. Honesty, right? So we do it as gradually as we need to do it. And please understand that you have tremendous help available. Before things get better sometimes in life, and we can all attest to this from our previous life circumstances in this lifetime, multiple times, things can seem to get real dark before the light flicks on, can't they? They can seem to get really, really desperate before the longed for change occurs. In other words, sometimes we have to mess ourselves up so much that we're ready to give up the same old, the ego, the way we've always been doing things. How's that working out for you? Okay. This course invites us to be very, very honest with ourselves And it is what we would call a direct approach. It points you to truth. It's up to you to walk the path, so to speak. So it's up to you to cultivate your relationship with our inner teacher, with the Holy Spirit, with Jesus, and ask him for help. He will help you. And here on the wobbling, spinning ball of rock, there are other people that will help you. There are. There are people in your life that you can turn to for guidance and support. First and foremost, we're invited to cultivate our relationship with our inner teacher, the Holy Spirit, who, by the way, appears in many guises. For example, just one of many. When something resonates and lands and you know that it's true, you just know it. You can tell. Of course you can. It's Him. It's the Holy Spirit speaking to you. There are many ways that this could take shape. It doesn't have to be a person talking to you or something that you read, even, which it could be. It could be an experience, a thought, an intuitive hit. We've all had many of those. A lot of people don't give themselves credit for being what we would call intuitive. We're all deeply intuitive. Are you not? Of course you are. Of course you are. So we're invited to pay attention. The more we do, the better. And does it seem like this is going to be a long ways off, this awakening thing? Well, maybe. I mean, in reality, who knows when this is going to come? One of the reasons that I broadcast these conversations here on YouTube is that I don't know, and indeed none of us knows, when the proverbial light bulb is going to flick on. And somebody on the other side of the world, maybe you, are going to get it. It's going to become crystal clear, and you'll be motivated and excited and invited to practice, and you'll do it and change your mind. What happens when you change your mind? Yeah, your experience completely changes. 100%. So you're invited to join me, honestly. Now, here in the world of cyberspace and social media, that's the subscription button. So when I say join me, you can click that if you have not yet. Thank you to those of you who have recently subscribed. Joining takes place at the mind. There is one mind after all. So the more we're open to this, the better. Questions are, of course, inevitable. A Course in Miracles aims to turn our perception right side up. It is upside down. We don't see things as they are. We think we're human beings. Let me start with that. We think that we inhabit this wobbling, spinning ball of rock called Earth, and it's our home. This thing hurtling through space. It's not our home, which a part of you deep down knows. We all do. So when we're invited to question things, we're invited to question the very foundations of everything that we now believe. Can that be scary? Yes. It's the ego that's afraid, always. All fear is of the ego. Fear is not of the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is not afraid. The Holy Spirit knows who you are. And so do you. The more you choose to listen to its guidance, the better. All right. So please, in the meantime, subscribe if you haven't. Ask questions if you have them, because I do check the comment thread, and my purpose here is to serve as a guide for you. And to the extent that this has inspired you to put these ideas into practice, which is where we really learn, good, good. I will see you on the next video. I'll talk to you soon.